Welcome back to a little update video. We will look today at AMC. We won't look at GME because there was no change. Because it was very close yesterday for FFAI. We will make a little update for FFAI because I didn't update NIO pretty long already. We will update on NIO. Because of all the tinfoil with HKT and GameStop, we will look at AMTD Digital too. And because of the pretty nice price action, we will also make an update on BYND. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal Method. I will link the explanation video at the end of the video, or you just search for the playlist Fractal Method on my channel. Okay, well then let's jump into AMC. So for AMC today, just a small update what we have done. For the full video, 1-part squeeze, 2-part squeeze, price action, timing and so on, just watch the last video. I will link it at the end of the video. Okay, so let's zoom in. Main problem for AMC right now is I know it gets boring. Yeah, we are just not doing anything. But to say this whole price action here, yeah, is the same what we did 2021, 2024, 2025. I will show that in a second. Was this the bottom? Yeah? I'm always saying in my videos, double bottoms are not bullish for AMC. Yeah, and here, double bottom, double bottom, double bottom, double bottom, triple bottom, quadruple bottom, whatever. Yeah? Not bullish. When you see a double bottom on AMC, when you are looking for a bottom and a V, most of the time, nearly 100%, you will find a new low. So this yesterday was one single candle, no double bottom. So check. Only problem with this is it was also not a significant bottom. Yeah? If we only look at this here on the 30-minute, yeah, this was one candle, wasn't the bottom. This was one candle, wasn't the bottom. This was one candle, wasn't the bottom. Yeah? We are doing since Monday always the same. Yeah? So technically, this could be the bottom. One candle bounce. Yeah? But I will show you what I mean. So here we have 2021 on the January the 5th on the 1 minute. Yeah? And I could also go on the 30-minute, it wasn't changed. But just to make that clear, even on the 1 minute. Here you clearly saw before fall. And we even got low volume and we just fell. But the last candle before we got to our all-time low, this candle was significant. You clearly saw with this candle, which is different to all these candles, that it was a clear drop, one candle down and a V. Yeah? That was 2021. For 2024, here for 2024, April 16, 2024, you also saw just falling. A lot of algorithmic price action where you just do nothing. You're doing double, quadruple buttons. But the last candle to our absolute button was just one candle down, instant bounce. Also, a perfect V. Yeah? And after that, you went up to your A and 0.5 pullback. And for 2025, you had again at the same thing. Yeah? April 4th, 2025 was also falling, falling, falling. But the last candle before we found our bottom, before we got our last little squeeze, was just really downside V and instant bounce. Yeah, we want to see something like that, in my opinion. I could be really wrong, but if you look at January 2021, April 2024, and April 2025, we always did the same. So maybe this was the V. I would more lean to it that this was just our little tiny T, just a tiny T from this section here. And we still have to fall, I would most likely imagine, till Friday. I'm still the opinion we won't, and a significant V. I just want to see something like this. Yeah. Then I would be absolutely fine and say, okay, perfect. This now could be the V. I'm still thinking we are not breaking $1, but I could be wrong, but I would lean to we are not breaking $1. But I want to see a really confirmation. Yeah. To say that if this was the V and we are doing now higher low, okay, I'm absolutely fine with that. I just don't think that yet. Also, the main problem I already said in the last video, if we're not doing this higher low till Friday, and I mean with that going up to 128 and making the higher low, again, I don't see any, if we're not doing that till Friday, I see no chance for next week. Yeah, no chance. I know a lot of people are bullish for next week. Yeah, whatever. But in my opinion, in my word, we are not squeezing from the V. Yeah, I showed that in the last video already. We can jump the higher low. So I mean, not doing it, but then we're doing the A and the pullback. And the other way around, we can do the higher low and jump the A, but we are not jumping both. Yeah, higher low or A with pullback. Or for the extreme slow version, we're doing higher low and A. Yeah, but in my tracking, and it never happened in AMC history ever before, we never squoze from the V. Yeah, I mean, if you say, yeah, this time is different, okay, maybe, yeah, but then this is untrackable. Yeah, just saying. So let's see what we are getting till Friday. Okay, next one is FFAI. So FFAI yesterday was so close to getting really uninteresting and absolutely shitting and into the delisting reverse split territory. Just in short, all-time high was C, then lower high, midpoint T. And for FFAI to be anything bullish, what we did this week has to be the bottom. Yeah. Before we look at this, what are our next targets? Rules one by one. Next A is at 150. Next B is at 5,000. Again, without a forward split, you will never see a share of FFA for $5,000. I know. For normal price targets, next A is at $4-ish. Next B, $35-ish. And our big A line, the 150 line, without a forward split, will be our rejection line, and we die. But I mean, who cares? Yeah. Also, as I'm always saying, I'm not thinking that we're doing an A, pullback B, pullback C. I just think whenever we are finished here, we're just getting one candle or a few candles up. Yeah? Because FFA is always doing that. V, higher low, squeeze. V, higher low, squeeze. Yeah, and in the past too. Yeah. So, and especially if this is bullish, this whole fractal is finished. Yeah. So we higher low squeeze is on the table, if we're not dying. So what have we done yesterday? Well, this week, I already said, this has to be the bottom. And I mean, or last Friday has to be the bottom. Friday, February 20. Yeah? And we are not allowed to touch it anymore. In that case, this whole thing would just be micro higher low. And yesterday, here, we came 1 cent close to this. Yeah, still valid, still working, but I already thought I have to make a video. Okay, this stock is dead, but we bounced. Then we made another micro higher low, and again come very close to it. So what will happen next? So the thing is, 3 ways. Yeah, the bearish way, we break that, and the stock is dead for me. Yeah, just saying, because we're really getting into a territory where nobody who likes money is playing it anymore. Yeah, because if you break here to the downside, that's not a little dip. I think you will really go to 30 to 20 cents then, and this is just becoming a muln. It would just become a muln, because I tell you, they will reverse split. They're already talking now about a new name and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If we break down here, I wouldn't touch it anymore. Doesn't mean it can't do something stupid after that, but there is no risk management then anymore. So much for the bearish part. For the bullish part, there are 2 ways. First of all, we are going the way with normal rules. That means this here was our tiny micro higher low, and now we have to do the macro higher low. That means we won't break over $1 or 90 cents, come down again, and after that we can do the squeeze. That would be the bullish version. The absolute bullish version, that this little micro higher lows we are doing here is enough. Yeah, and I mean enough that we can go from here. Yeah, it would be the same like in front of our $1,000 squeeze. Yeah, you see, this was also tiny higher lows. Yeah, because normally, if you look at this big M, yeah, this higher low should have been something like this. But back then, we just did this tiny higher lows. But the thing is, and that's the risky part about this FFAI. Back then, we did 1 higher low, 2nd higher low, and then we ran. Yeah, and back then this took us what? This took us 11 days. Yeah. Now we have 1 higher low. Yeah, and it took us 11 days. So Fractal is always getting bigger and longer. Yeah? So maybe we see something stupid from here. Maybe we just have to do another little higher low. Just saying. Yeah. If no financial advice, if you want to play it, first of all, play it only with money you can set on fire. First rule. Second rule, play for something around $1.90. I know I looked a little bit on the option chain. I think max the lowest strike is $2, which is already shitty. Then play further out. Yeah, with further out, I'm talking about January 2027. Yeah, but play the lowest price strike you have, because my main problem right now is you have only 2, as I said, 3 ways. If you go down, you die, not playable anymore. If you go up and you reject this trend line, this will take some time. But if you have the lowest price that strike, you can make money here. Yeah. If you break up from here, who cares? Everyone is making. But the decision point is this level here. Yeah. Problem is, yeah, now we could just say, okay, then just wait. But the thing is, if we're really doing something like May 2024, I think there won't be an entry here anymore because you will just break through it. That's the shitty part about FFAI. You won't really get confirmation before you move because when the higher low, the last one is in, you just go. There is no warning signal. Yeah? So careful. Okay. Next one is HKT. So for HKT or AMTD digital, because so many, I saw this tweet so many times. When HKT is going, shortly after that, GME will go. Before we go into tracking, we will look at this tinfoil if there's anything on it. So left side, 24-hour chart for HKT or AMD Digital. Right side, 24-hour chart for GME from February 2021 because HKT IPO was July 2022. And then we just compare. What was HKT doing? What was GME doing? So the all-time high for HKT was the last run. Yeah, you see it on the right side? Was nearly the peak before you fell on GameStop. Yeah, this was also August 2022. It was just a midpoint for GameStop. Right? Next one, the lower high for HKT was just in the middle of nothing for GameStop. The midpoint for HKT was a bottom on GME. Yeah, this was January 2023, but it was also just in the middle of nothing. Yeah. Next one, October 2024. Was a bottom for GME. Yeah. But it was just also, it was a bottom of in front of a little higher low before you run to your midpoint. That's not something. The last T for HKT, the last run, was just in a fall of GameStop. Yeah, I mean we are on the 24-hour chart. Yeah, we fell. What was it? 18 days after that. And the last one we did on HKT, GameStop is just doing nothing. So I just I just want to make that clear. One person, if it's on purpose or not, just said every time an HKT was running, GameStop did something big, which is clearly wrong. Absolutely wrong. And then a lot of other people, hey, this guy is saying that, so I will post it or I will use it also without checking. You can check this tinfoil in 5 minutes to see it's absolutely bullshit. I don't know why people are still doing that. Especially, I don't know why content creators are doing that. It's clearly a tinfoil which is bullshit. So, for the tracking for HKT itself, I have to say it isn't looking bad. Yeah? We have our all-time highs. The IPO was just the start to run to all-time highs. Perfect lower high, perfect midpoint, perfect T. Then we could found our bottom here. December 31st, 2025. Only thing is, it's a double bottom. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I looked back. I didn't really saw double buttons in the last ones. This here is a double bottom. So I wouldn't be too bullish. But let's start with the bull variant. With the bull variant, bottom is in. Fine. We even, I mean, I didn't show it, but I already looked at it a week ago, that this run was just our higher low. Yeah, this was my old marking. Yeah, and we just one candle up, one candle down. Yeah, and this higher low, if bullish, would be already finished. Yeah, so for the absolute bullish version, you should go up from here. Sorry, that was BlackRock telling me I don't allow to show that. No. Where was I? Okay, bullish variant, V, higher low, go. Also for this stock, just to say that, normally your A would be over $5, your B over $50, and then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? But the thing is, every time when HKD was finished with its little higher lows, it just get massive spikes. So I can't say that maybe we're doing something stupid. And in this case, because we already did that from $13 to $2,000, I don't say this stock isn't possible to go to $2,000, $1,000 without a forward split. It's possible. Yeah. But I wouldn't play it with serious money. Yeah. Sadly, I already looked. There are no options. Yeah. There are only shares. Be careful. Yeah. Okay. Next one is NIO. So only because I did the last update for NIO is a while ago. For the summary, NIO started its IPO in a pullback of A, then big macro B, and we are now in the run to C. Why is that B? Just because if you look from the A bottom, from the all-time low to this is a 0.618. Yeah, we didn't fall under the 786, so this isn't our higher low. So now you can argue, yeah, why isn't it A? Could be. Yeah, this B could be also A. But for right now, it isn't changing the tracking. Yeah, if we say this was A, which is working, yeah, then the next run would be just macro B. But the thing what isn't changing, even if this is B, you have to break over all-time highs. Yeah. The only difference what is changing after that is how deep we fall. Yeah. But we are only playing for this right now, so it doesn't matter. For the micro tracking, yeah. Doesn't matter if it's A or B. Our pullback target was April 8, 2025. We did a nice higher low after that. We broke over the trend line after that. We went over our D line. So this is our little a. There is no other version for this right now. And after that, we pulled back. And I think I started NIO with my channel. Yeah. And already back then here, I got so many hate messages. No, you're wrong. Fundamentals are right. How can you say it will drop? If you're more bullish, you will get more views. Again, if I see something bearish, I won't say it's bullish just to get more views. I will always say what I see, if people like it or not. I said we have to drop 0.5 or 0.618. And that's what we did. So we have now two versions. Yeah. And it's not a bearish version for that. First version is, if you look here, from here, we are at the 0.618. Perfect. And we bounced. The bullish version is that what we did since then was just higher low. And we start going. Yeah. Next target is something over 16. Yeah. Only problem with this is, again, we have a double bottom here. I don't really have proof if this is important for NIO, but I don't like double buttons. Yeah. So bullish version, you have to go from here. Yeah. We even filled this little gap here. Yeah. I showed in the earlier videos. We bounced. So we have to go up from here. If not, if we touching or breaking, what is that? Let's make it absolutely clear. $4.38. If you're touching or breaking that, you will go down to where? In that case, this top here in February 2023 was just our T from the A pullback. And in that case, you will drop. But the thing is, I think you will go in something in this range. So $4.37 to $3.90. So $3.90. Yeah. You won't break this yellow line. You won't break the 786, in my opinion. Yeah. And this would just be a perfect breakout retest. And then you go. Yeah. Also, because I showed that every time. If you look at this here, you have a V, a higher low, a head and shoulders, and a drop to the 618. Yeah. If you look back to what we're comparing it to 2020, January 2020, you had a V, higher low, breakout of the trend, and head and shoulders, and you fell to the 0.618. And then you also did a little higher low, a bigger higher low, and then you just start running. So if we're doing the little pullback or not, I still think, no financial advice, we're getting this run or the start of this run this year easily. NIO just looks nice and fine. Yeah. Only question is, are we doing one last pullback or not? Okay, last one is BYND. So for BYND today, just a small update. Yeah. For the big update, just watch the last video for price targets and so on and so on. Just for what is our next target? Our next target is around $15 to $25. Yeah? Okay, well then let's look what we have done. And in the last video, I already showed all versions, what we could do. But in all versions, I said, if we're breaking this trend line, we will go up. Yeah? And in the latest update, I said, okay, this was clearly our small a, and we have to do a breakout retest on the 0.5 or the 618. And if we look right now, perfect breakout retest. Perfect. So what will happen next? Well, in my opinion, if we're not breaking under this trend line again, which would be really bearish. Yeah. Don't think that, but if we're doing that, if we're doing something like this, that's bearish, really bearish. If not, there are only two ways. First of all, this was the pullback of A. We go up now. Yeah. Then the only question is, are we doing the small uptrending version where we go to 117, pullback, and so on, as I showed in the last video? Or are we just going to our big A target? Yeah. Second version is, this was our A pullback, but now we have to do a little micro higher low. Yeah. That means we have to drop under 7-8 cents. Yeah. And then we do whatever. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. For this, I could easily imagine this could take till Friday, where you say, this is our V, this is our C, lower high, this was our M. That means we go now under 79 cents, then go up again, T, and then we do this. Yeah, that's micro tracking. And this whole thing is only there to spend some time. Yeah, because the fractal is waiting. We could easily do this today, till market close. And if really earnings are today, in that case, I would imagine earnings are the catalyst for something stupid. If earnings are today, because some are trading views saying yes, some are saying no. Let's see. But this whole thing looks absolutely interesting. And don't be afraid of this. This is just the slowest version I showed in my last video. I also showed this version, and so on and so on. If you're really interested in this, watch the latest video. But our main target for, I would say, no financial advice, my main target for summer, latest summer, is still something over 15. It looks fucking good. Okay. I think that was everything. For all the playlists, I made a new outro. If you're interested, there are the links for the playlist and so on. Otherwise, let's see what happens this week. I hope I will make a bigger video, or a few bigger videos this week. Today it was just shortly because I don't have so much time right now, but I try to make it better. Okay, see ya.
Hope you found the insight that you've been chasing. Let NIO trades keep your momentum pacing. The market's movements we are always tracking with our smart fractal tracking. So keep on learning and come back to see us here at NIO Trades, where your future is limitless.